Woo! Hello! Hello, hello! How we doing today, everybody?
We are doing good. How is everybody out there in the stratosphere? We hope everybody is rocking and rolling, feeling
Rock.
their team, making some moves.
Making a lot of moves. This was
A lot
pretty
of moves
exciting.
this week.
Very, very exciting waiver week, I suppose. Waiver ad week. A lot of money dropped. Good stuff.
Quite a few
let's see if
dollar bills.
Dollar bill, y'all. Let's see if it shakes things up. I love it. We are now on week 8 of the fantasy season.
My
Exciting?
oh my. This is the 8th time we've done this, Josh? That is crazy.
That is 8 more times than we've ever done it before. So that's
I
pretty
don't know that we've gotten any better at it.
That's about right. We're still amateurs, but you love us, so we're just gonna keep going. Very exciting week, week 7. Some people suffered a couple of painful scores. Other people just were rolling in the points. You want to give us a weekly recap there, buddy?
Yeah, sure do. We'll kick it off with my game. I put up a whopping 70 points. Chet walked away with that one, scoring an easy 103. Looks like Nuketown fell short, 79 points to the Prescott Sterling's 135, the second highest scored points that week. So good on you, Scott.
Well done.
Eric. Holy smokes, man. Slow down. You do not need to score 100 points over your opponent. You do not need to score 99. You do not need to score that many points, man.
Calm down, bro.
Just chill. Man. Chill.
For real.
Chill.
Okay?
191 to 92 is the final score over Berries and Cream. Josh, you walked away with one there, 97-83.
Very close.
The lowest points scored to get a win.
Yes.
And then Lijak taking down Gordo, nice. 106 to 62. Coincidentally, I believe 62 is now the low mark for the season.
You have lowered the expectations here, Matt O'Connor. It's not your fault. A lot of players went down with some injuries this week. I know. Yeah. Speaking of, you already know that pain. How are you, Matt? How are you supposed to expect the Davy Johnson situation?
That was strange because I have him in another league, and I was like, okay, I can understand for maybe the first 10 minutes of the game, 0.02 or 0.2, sure.
Right.
Then I see highlights of Chase Edmonds, and it's just like, oh, okay, I guess they're doing that.
Yeah, very surprising week all around. I mean, there were some. Aaron Rodgers came back to existence to the Aaron Rodgers that we know. Like, pretty crazy week. But I bet you it's going to get even crazier as the weeks go on.
We're getting into the thick of it.
We're getting in the thick of it.
We are in the thick of it, rather. We are here. I think you brought up, we were texting earlier in the week, and you said that there was one game separating 2nd through 9th.
Yeah. It's either 4-3 or 3-4.
The teams at the bottom could literally switch to the teams in the top now this week. I mean, we are not even nearly close to being out of the woods.
No.
It is. We have a grind coming up.
Our half pounder episode last week, we were saying that 7 wins would pretty much guarantee the spot to get into the playoffs. Everybody's grinding to just get to 6 wins. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Let's quickly recap the pick'ems. Louis, you got 1 game correct. We differed on a few games. We differed on a few games, and I think it was 2 of them. I got the 2 games correct that we differed on. I only got 3 right, but I am now ahead of you 22-21 out of 35 games. So we're still pretty neck and neck in the pick'ems.
Wow, who would have thought out of all the battles going on in fantasy that this would be the tightest race?
Ain't that the truth? Well, shit. Okay, so I guess we'll just kick it into gear. We'll start off week 8. We'll start with the Gordo. Point. Versus Nooktown. Very interesting matchup we got going on here because there's a question mark starting off with Gordo's quarterback position. We don't know if Matt Ryan's going to play or not. Matt Ryan's dealing with something going on in his ankle. It seems like the league is just trying to push these all-stars to play when they're not ready. Pat Mahomes is already at practice. Drew Brees is back in practice.
He's back. He's throwing balls. He's throwing full-size footballs.
I don't know what the push is for all of these guys here. We'll see. We'll see if he plays. Matt Ryan would play Seattle if he does. Seattle, they're allowing quite a number of points to the quarterback position. Coincidentally, I looked at what other positions are giving up, are getting points against Seattle. Not the wide receiver position. They're top 7 against the wide receiver position. And they're top 9 against allowing running backs. They've been doing really solid against most of fantasy here, except for quarterbacks. And I was wondering, where else could these points be going? And then I looked, it's the tight end position. So, Gordo, I'm going to just recap it when I get to there, but you have a wonderful 1-2 punch if Matt Ryan plays against Seattle. He's dealing with the ankle injury. He could play. He only had 159 yards last week. He had 5 sacks and interception. He ended up with negative points. He was just bad. I for one hope that they sit him. But that's because I have Devonta Freeman. He might get more involved. What can I say? I do like the backup pickup that you have there, Matt Stafford. He would go against the Giants. So if push comes to shove, nice, very nice. I don't think that either of them are going to compete with the other quarterback in this matchup, though. Deshaun Watson, he's going up against Oakland. Oakland is bottom 3 when it comes to allowing points to the quarterback position. He's been on fire lately. He's had, in the last 3 games, 2 rushing touchdowns, 7 passing touchdowns. Oakland just gave up a huge game to Aaron Rodgers. He just went completely gaga. I think Deshaun Watson's going to have himself a wonderful game here. Advantage Deshaun Watson.
Sure.
We got a little bit of audio stuff going on here. I don't know if you need to readjust. Yeah.
Am I good now?
Oh, yeah, you're good now. Okay. Wide receivers, we'll jump right into it. Gordo, you got OBJ, Odell Beckham, and Tyler Boyd. Now, Tyler Boyd, I'm going to just start off with here. Tyler Boyd, he's been getting a lot of looks. He's averaging 10.4 targets a game, and he's been turning those into decent yardages. He's averaging 67 yards a game on those 10 targets. Ooh, excuse me. He's only had 1 TD, though, on the season. Cincinnati, they've been just going airborne. They can't do anything on the ground. Poor Joe Mixon.
Poor.
Their O-line is just terrible. They're bombing it. They're doing what they can. Tyler Boyd's getting the looks. Maybe he gets the opportunity against the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure they're going to have to throw the ball again. The Rams, they applied the pressure last week. These are the guys who got to Matt Ryan. We'll see how it goes. OBJ is coming in for your other wide receiver. They're going up against New England. We saw the storyline on Monday night. New England, the power that they have, the defense, they are just an absolute powerhouse. The best return of fab money, I would not have guessed would have been from a defense this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're killing it. The Browns, they're 2-4. They're still trying to prove that they have a little bit of the power that they were hyped this year. I don't know. New England has not allowed a a receiving touchdown still on the year. They've only allowed 3 rushing touchdowns. I just don't see it. I don't see Baker Mayfield being the quarterback to figure out this defense. I just don't see it. DeAndre Hopkins coming in for Nucktown, Mr. Nuck himself. He's going against Oakland. Like I said, Oakland's just been allowing a lot of fantasy points lately. Hopkins himself, he hasn't had less than 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He's had 32 targets, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. Oakland just let 8 different receivers have themselves a good game last week, and gave up 429 yards through the air. Watson is going to be looking for Hopkins the majority of the time. This is going to be a great game for him. Keenan Allen coming in as the second wide receiver for Nucktown. They're going up against Chicago. Somehow, according to Yahoo, Chicago is top 5 against the wide receiver. I still don't know this statistic because Michael Thomas just went off against them last week for 9 catches, 131 yards. Emmanuel Sanders had a great game against them. Everybody, at least one receiver has gone off. I think Adam Thielen went off against them too. I don't understand how they're listed this way, but so be it. Keenan Allen drew another 11 targets last week. Eckler was the guy who stole the show for sure through the air. Keenan Allen still had 61 yards. We'll see if he gets involved. He had a great start to the season. I think he has an opportunity to make things right this week. Either way, I like both of these wide receivers better than the other 2.
Yeah.
Advantage Nucktown. For the running backs, David Johnson coming in against New Orleans. They are top 3 against the running back position. They've been very good at stopping the run, and this includes a couple of running backs that they've played so far: Todd Gurley, Chris Carson, Carlos Hyde, Zeke, Leonard Fournette. They've been able to stop these top-tier running backs. It's going to be tough for David Johnson, especially with the back injury. Even Chase Edmonds might have a problem if David Johnson sits. I don't see them going completely bonkers on the ground. David Johnson just had the 1 carry, like you said, for 2 yards last week. If he plays, I don't know. I don't see the stars aligning on this one.
Sure.
Aaron Jones, he's coming up against Kansas City. Kansas City, they're in the bottom 10 against the running back. Aaron Rodgers' resurgence has brought this entire offense to life. But they only had Aaron Jones only had 12 rushes last week. They did just allow Royce Freeman to have a total of 68 yards. I think both running backs here for Green Bay will get involved, but Aaron Jones is getting utilized in the passing game. He has about 4.9 targets the last few games. He
had a great catch last week too, I will say.
Oh, he did, yeah. Phenomenal player. He's still got the talent. I think he's going to get utilized here. Yeah. It could very well help out Gordo. Nucktown for their running backs, they got Chris Carson. Chris Carson is going against Atlanta. Atlanta's a middle of the pack for the running backs, but that's just because everybody's beating Atlanta through the air. I could see that happening again, but Carson is still getting involved in the passing game. They're probably going to go up, and if Matt Ryan's not there to compete with the score of the game there, I don't know. Maybe he will get the carries. Chris Carson's has 21 plus carries the past 4 games. He hasn't had a fumble again the 3rd week of the season. This is going to be a big bounce back week for him, in my opinion. Matt Breida, he's going up against Carolina. Carolina's middle of the pack again for running backs. Breida went out for a little bit last week, dealing with concussion symptoms. He had 9 touches before going out. This is a running back by committee for sure.
Oh yeah, the best committee.
No kidding. They're killing it on the run game. He hasn't had more than 15 rushes in a game, which was the week Coleman went out. Luckily, Matt Breida does get involved in the passing game as well. But like I said, RBBC, it could change things. We'll see. We'll see. I'm giving the advantage here. I'm giving the advantage to Nucktown again. This is where Gordo has a little bit of advantage, in my opinion. Austin Hooper versus George Kittle. Austin Hooper, he is the number one tight end of the season. He shows no signs of slowing down. Matt Ryan's status is up in the air. That could affect him, but he might be great. He hasn't seen less than 34 yards in a game. He's had 4 touchdowns total in the year. He's averaging 8 targets a game. He is the real deal. He is the number one tight end. I think he has the advantage over George Kittle. George Kittle's he's been very dependent on how Garoppolo's been handling the ball. Again, this is a very run-heavy team. Carolina, they are the top 7 defense against the tight end position. Let me break this down, though. They have played the Rams before Everett got going. They've played O.J. Howard twice. They've played the Cardinals. They've played the Texans. They've played Jacksonville. I think this might be the first real tight end matchup that they go up against. So it could be, just a way of cushioning the stats by playing those bad tight ends. George Kittle, he hasn't had less than 54 yards a game except for 1 week, which was last week in the pouring rain. He is tight end number 7 on the year. I just like the advantage to go in Hooper here because Hooper's been a baller.
He has.
Flex position, Melvin Gordon versus Chicago. Chicago has been bottom 8 when it comes to the running back position this year. They are not the same run defense without Akeem Hicks. Although Melvin Gordon, we'll see how this goes. This is another strange RBBC. He had 3 goal line carries that he just could not convert. He fumbled the ball. As somebody said, a wise man once said, he left some points on the field. Yes, this past week. Another very interesting stat that I found here is this past week, he did have 2 receptions for a touchdown. But those 2 receptions totaled up to -3 yards. So very, very intriguing. Very intriguing.
He caught it in the end zone and ran it.
And then ran backwards. And I'm like, I don't know. He hasn't had more than 48 total yards in his 3 games back. The thing is, Chicago has just not been the same team without Akeem Hicks. We'll see how much Eckler gets involved on the ground. It seemed like Gordon was handling a lot of the touches on the ground. We'll see. Other flex play here. Juju Smith-Schuster. He's back from his bye week. He's playing Miami.
Ooh, yeah.
My goodness. If you're playing Miami, you're going to have a good time. Doesn't matter the position. He's getting Mason Rudolph back. No more third string. Rudolph should be stabilized now. No longer dealing with a concussion after almost dying.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what a hit. That was.
Nice pancake.
For real. Miami hates to play football, or at least they just hate their organization. I feel like they're just giving up. So let's see how Juju does. He hasn't had more than 8 targets in a single game this season, and they've all maxed out at 8. But I think he's going to have a pretty decent game. I'm actually giving the advantage here to Juju. Let's give a couple of bold predictions. David Johnson, he's going to be a game-time decision play. He's going to play, and he will not see the field until the second half. And then he'll go off for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, okay.
Another bold prediction here for the other side of the ball. And Emmanuel Sanders just got traded to San Francisco. He's going to draw enough coverage off of George Kittle.
Okay.
George Kittle's going to find himself finding the end zone twice on 103 yards. that just goes to show how much I think Austin Hooper is going to do this week if George Kittle is going to end up with those stats and still lose to Austin Hooper. It's going to be a big scoring week. I just think that Nucktown is going to take this one all the way to the bank, win by 11 points.
Okay, I like the pick. I agree. I think Newtown pulls it off.
Cool.
And looks real nice.
Excellent.
All right, I'll take things from here.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be looking at your matchup, Team Woodsy against the Silver Sterlings.
Woodsy!
Quarterback position, we got the Russell Hustle, Muscle Man, Russell Wilson going out there against Atlanta. Juicy matchup. I think Seattle comes away with the easy victory. Questions up in the air about Matt Ryan.
Yes.
So offense for Atlanta has not looked good. The production just has not been there as of late. So I think Seattle just walks all over them. I think Russell has a great game. And I'm going to give him the advantage over a plug-and-play here of Gardner Minshew going up against the Jets, who are middle of the road. They are 19th against quarterbacks. Gardner's been kind of up and down. He's had some great games. He's had some not-so-good games. Could be a nice play, playing the Jets, but I got to give the advantage to Russell. I do like the 1-2 punch in DJ Chark and Gardner Minshew. If you're going to play a player,
yes,
pair it with your best wide receiver, or not your best wide receiver, a great wide receiver. I think he's the wide receiver number 4 on the year is DJ. So great play, but advantage still goes to Russell. Then we got the wide receivers. Chris Godwin going out strong. He's the wide receiver number 2. However, he just had the bye week. He's still a great play. He gets Tennessee. They got a kind of a tough matchup. They're 6th best against the wide receivers. But with the wide receiver core of Evans and Godwin, one of them is going to be open every other play, so Godwin's going to be the beneficiary there for sure. Then we got John Brown, or you got John Brown in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
The best to play wide receivers against. John Brown, Yahoo has him slated for 115 yards and a touchdown. That is definitely within the realm of possibilities. Should outplay his projection of 11 points. The Bills' defense is a top 12 defense. So, I mean, it's going to be a close game, but as soon as there's a boom play, John Brown is going to be your guy. However, on the other side of the ball, we got Michael Thomas and Tyreek Hill. Michael Thomas has moved into the wide receiver number 1 position. Again, Chris Godwin with that bye week. Could be padding in a little bit. They get Arizona, who is middle of the road 16th against the wide receivers. But Michael Thomas is just coming off of a great game. He has found production, and he is getting it regardless of who the quarterback is. Teddy, I believe he's 5-0 in his starts, and he has been not afraid to throw the ball. He came out a little shaky that first game, but he has been slinging, and he has been going, and Michael Thomas has been just outstanding. Tyreek Hill back again, I think week number 3 in a row. He had the touchdown last week, so he got his. They get Green Bay this week, who's had a pretty stout defense against the receivers. No Patrick Mahomes though. So I mean that could hurt his upside, but with his speed, as long as he gets thrown the ball a few times, I mean he can make it happen.
Yeah.
I am going to give the advantage to Silver Sterlings here, just based on their positioning and upside. I think it's going to be great. It could even be a wash. But Michael Thomas getting Arizona, I think that's what's going to do it.
Yeah.
Then running backs, you're throwing out James Conner. I think he's a great play. He gets Miami. Why not? Great Monday night. Monday night. You could be sitting ahead. You could be behind by a couple. James Conner's going to get that for you. No Jalen Samuels to vulture anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Rudolph's back. I'm sure they're scheming. It's a James Conner. Great play. Devonta Freeman is throwing punches. No suspension. No suspension. Which is fine. I mean, he got thrown out of the game, so that's enough. However, the week before the suspension, he was kicking ace. 2 receiving touchdowns, 19 rushes. He's getting the production there with a backup quarterback. I'm operating under the impression that Matt Ryan will not play. I don't see why they would.
Right.
Especially with the bye week next week. Just let him rest, man. So Devonta Freeman has been heavily involved in that passing game. He could very well see an uptick in targets, just from being a check down. So I think he's a great play. No problem with him. On the other side, we got James White, who has, like you said last week, going to get you 9 points.
For real.
He will get you 9 points. And that's fine. I would take 9 points over 3 points.
I laugh because, again, last week he got 4 points or something.
Yep. Yeah, I think he said he's averaging 9.4 and he got 9.4. Someone that's been very underwhelming has been Joey Mixon. Only 6.9. He's only 10 rushes. He did have the touchdown as well, though. 10 rush attempts, 2 yards. I think you called it. What was your bold prediction last week? Under 20?
He was only going to get. It was 17 yards on under 12 rushes. I said he was not going to get a touchdown. That's the only thing that saved.
It was a receiving touchdown, so I'll let you got the win there for sure. Very underwhelming. They get the Rams, middle of the road. But it's Joe Mixon this year. Cincinnati.
Yeah,
that's just tough. I got hands down advantage has to go to you. I think you get a lot of points here. Moving on to the tight end, Travis Kelce. Again, no Patrick Mahomes. I think this helps Kelce's chance. He's a tall dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the backup is. Moore?
Yeah, Matt Moore.
Yeah. He targeted him often when Mahomes came out last week. He was getting the targets. I mean, he had 8 targets last week, 6 receptions. He's going to be the third down guy, which will probably happen often unless they can get the running game going and moving the chains. I think Kelce's going to be the guy, especially over Dawson Knox. He may have invented the school of hard knocks, but I don't know. I think there's better tight end options out there. This guy's the tight end number 24. Unless Lyjack knows something that we don't. They do get Philly. Philly's been great against, or great for wide receivers, but very middle of the road against tight end. Who knows? Maybe he breaks out. Maybe he has a great breakout game. We've seen it all year where guys are not on any teams and putting up 30, 40 points. Who knows? Who knows? Sure. Then we got Robert Woods in your flex position going up against Cincinnati. Somehow Cincinnati is the 8th best against wide receivers.
It's crazy.
Woods has really not panned out to the receiver we thought, or the 4th or 5th round draft pick that you drafted him to be. The whole Rams offense has been very weird. I'm hoping Woods goes balls to the walls, but we'll see. It's gonna be tough going up against DJ Chark. Phenomenal player. He's been the wide receiver 4. He has earned it. He started off the year hot.
He did.
Had a great couple of games. And he gets the Jets. I got to give the advantage to Chark, I think, here. When the dust settles, let me get my bold predictions first.
Sure.
So James Conner right now is sitting at the running back number 15. I think he's outside of the top 10 by about 20, 21, 23 points or something like that. I think he scores enough to after this week be a top 10 running back. So nice. I think to do that, I mean, there's got to be some players that score 9-8 points. I think we could be looking at 27 points for Mr. James Conner.
That'd be nice.
Then we got my other bold prediction goes to Michael Thomas. I think he's going to torch Arizona. I don't know how many receptions, but I'm giving him 135 yards and 1 touchdown.
That dude.
Which I think is great. I think he will maintain his wide receiver 1 status this week.
Without question. Without question.
Score spread. Josh, I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to give it to you by 15.
Ha-ha! All right.
Which might be generous, but just given the matchups here, I'm just re-looking at it. I think 15 is right there. So, best of luck to you and to Mr. Lyjack.
Thank you. Yeah, I think my wide receiver. I think the matchups are really the only thing that's going to help me keep up with his. Lyjack, you got great wide receivers, man. You got wonderful wide receivers. You picked up the right. Yeah, you kept a great one. Tyreek Hill, you picked him up first pick. He's back. He's ready to go. And DJ Chark, what a pick up off the waiver wire. Like, nice job with that.
Mm-hmm.
I do have myself winning as well. Single digits, 9 points. 9 points. It's the spread there. Sounds good though. I like it. Sounds good. Best of luck, Lodge. Kind of.
Best of luck, bitches.
Best of luck, y'all bitches. Sounds good. We'll move on to the third game here. Kerryon, my wayward son, versus.
He is carrying on.
He's carrying on that IR spot.
To the IR.
Versus Prescott Sterling. There's a lot of holes that the Prescotts had to fill in this week. Put a lot of eggs in the Cowboys' basket, and that basket is now on bye week. So they had to make a lot of plugins. Adam Thielen, his hamstring injury. Luckily, they found out early enough that he's going to be ruled out for Thursday Night Football. Give him enough time to try to plug in some key players there. We'll see how it turns out. So let me start off with the quarterback positions. Kyler Murray going against New Orleans. You last time I checked, because I did your game around lunchtime, you still have Kyler Murray playing, correct?
As of now.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I do.
Because there is word that Drew Brees is practicing. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Again, another quarterback who is on the bye week next week, right? Yeah.
Bye week next week, yes.
So I don't know why they're rushing these guys, but
stop it, NFL. We already got this long concussion protocol where players can't play. Just let them sit, man. Let them sit. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it. As
a Drew Brees owner, let him sit. Thank you.
Let him sit, because
NFL listeners out there, you guys in the front office need to listen.
Yeah. Roger Goodell, we know you're one of our 9 listeners of this podcast, okay?
Are we up to 9 subscribers now?
I don't know. I'm just making that up.
Once we hit single digits, we'll throw a party. Or once we hit double digits, we'll throw a party.
I love it.
Maybe YouTube will send us a nice 10 subscriber plaque. Nice little plaque. Here you go.
I'll hang it up.
Way to not invite all of your friends to your YouTube channel. Way to not tell anybody.
Yeah. I know this is only focused around our fantasy league, but way to not tell anybody, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I will say there are a few people out there that do listen to us that are not in the league. They come to us for some advice, just some analysis. Maybe they got players on the teams and they want to hear what our takes are on them. So thank you, non-Warren 2009 listeners. We appreciate you.
Much appreciated. So let me go back to Kyler Murray, who's going against New Orleans. New Orleans is bottom 10 against the quarterback position. They've been really strong overall. The defense has stopping most of their opponents. They've had double digits in terms of defense the past few weeks. But I think Kyler Murray is coming into his own right now. He's a smart player. He had 10 rushing attempts, only 21 throws last week for 104 yards. Ooh, excuse me. It was a little underwhelming, but that was because Chase Edmonds stole the show. He took the ball, took the rock, and ran with it. It may have hurt his numbers backing up against other quarterbacks because right now he's 14th on the season. I don't know about the running back situation. The rain hurt their game a little bit last week. I think he's going to be fine. It's going to be a good matchup for him. He's a smart player and he can get things done on the ground as well. However, the plug and play for Prescott Sterling's is not bad, and I think they might have the advantage here. Kirk Cousins going up against Washington. Washington is bad. If anybody needs a recap on their season, Kirk Cousins, he was bad at one point this season. Then he started figuring himself out. Past 3 games, he's had 300-plus yards through the air, three touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's had the best QB rating in the past 3 games out of all quarterbacks that have played. He's been really consistent as of late. And Washington, their stats against the quarterback, they're about middle of the pack. They've been cushioned a little bit by other terrible games. Like they played the 49ers last week, and it was a like you saw that one tackle, that one sack by Bosa, where he just tackled and then slid across the field on this muddy. Like, how is anybody supposed to get fantasy points there? Like, okay, Washington, you got lucky. They also played against Trubisky. Like, yeah, he had 3 touchdown game against them, but then he also 3 interceptions. Like, okay, your stats are cushioned. Kirk Cousins, he's a little bit smarter than some of these players. As of right now, I give the advantage in the quarterback position to Prescott Sterling. Wide receivers. Let's continue on from Prescott. They no longer have Thielen for the 1-2. Ooh, that's loud.
What happened? Was that me?
Was a little loud. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
I think you got like the mic might be in the vest or something there. Like, oh yeah, that's the guy. So instead of Thielen, they've grabbed and plugged in MVS.
2 catches.
2 catches. I'm gonna get into it. Like, yes, 8 different receivers got involved last week, including some running backs. But I'm counting them through the air as a receiver in this one. He had 2 catches last week, 3 targets. The last 3 games, he's only had 4 targets at most. Not combined, just at most. 4 targets. He made the most of his 2 catches. We'll give him that much.
Boy, did he.
He's been in concussion protocol the past couple of weeks, but he was cleared to play. He made the most of his 2 catches. I don't know if he'll do the same again. But if the Aaron Rodgers of late, or last week, I guess, is back, the Aaron Rodgers we all know and love, it could happen. We could have another deep ball to MVS. This one is a big boom or bust play.
It could happen.
It could happen. So what you're saying is there's a chance. Yes, there is. Pair him with Larry Fitzgerald. Cancel out some of these points from Kyler Murray coming his way if that happens. Yeah, if you're going to beat New Orleans, you're going to do it through the air. New Orleans is the 6th worst against the wide receiver position. It's been a tough stretch for Fitz. He hasn't had more than 9.9 points since week 3, fantasy points. In this little slump of his, he's averaging about 6 targets a game and about 46.5 yards. I think he needs Christian Kirk back to have a solid opposite wide out to kind of draw some of these double coverages away from him. If Christian Kirk is back, it could very, very much so help Larry Fitz. We'll see how that goes. For your end of the ball here, we got Julio Jones versus Seattle. Like I said, Seattle's been very good against the wide receivers and the running backs. However, Julio Jones is averaging 9 targets a game. He is a tall dude. He's a fast dude. Sanu, the Sanu Canoe has left Atlanta.
He has left the building.
Yeah, and he paddled all the way up to New England. So
that's a long paddle.
It's a very long paddle, I'll tell you what.
2,000 miles.
Well, he'll be in tip-top shape when he arrives.
For all you geography buffs out there.
He'll be in tip-top shape for when he arrives in New England. That's for sure. So, that's an average of 6 targets a game that have now opened up from Sanu. Matt Ryan status. That's a big factor here. I don't know how their backup's going to play. I don't know.
Sorry, it's actually only 1,200 miles. It's 1,200.8 miles.
Louis just fact checked himself. That was
so don't comment. I already did it.
I don't think this is going to be a problem. He's a big guy. He's wide receiver 7 on the year. He's been having a really decent year. I love it. Even though they're top 7 against wide receivers, I give him a chance here in Seattle. You're pairing him with the newly acquired Emmanuel Sanders. He's now in Cali. He's no longer a mile high above sea level.
I will say, I did move him down to my flex. I did put Marvin Jones in the other wide receiver position.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Still a little unsure about Emmanuel Sanders. That's why I moved him down to my flex.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
I put him down there to say, hey, man, figure your shit out. Figure your shit out. You're in the timeout. You're at the timeout. You're at the little kid table.
We're watching you. We're watching.
You're 32 years old and you're at the little kids table. Okay.
So then I guess I'll jump over to Marvin Jones Jr. stats. Then he's going against the Giants. Giants are bottom 8 against wide receivers. We all know Marvin Jones. He was the guy last week. 4 touchdowns, 10 catches, 94 yards. I think I've talked about this before. They love to spread the ball from one player to another per game. For some odd reason, they cannot share in these games. Kenny Golladay has had his games where it's only him. Previously, Kerryon Johnson had games where it was only him. Marvin Jones has had 2 games this year where it's only him. TJ Hawkinson had his first game of the season. It was only him. It's crazy. Marvin Jones has only had 2 games of 7 or more targets. And New York just got beat on the ground by Chase Edmonds. It was crazy. But Kerryon's out. They're figuring out their running back situation. We'll see how that one goes. Marvin Jones has a better chance of getting or sharing work this week. At least I think so. We'll see what Matt Stafford decides to do here. I'm giving the advantage through the air with the wide receivers to you in this matchup.
Oh, that's so nice.
Moving on to the running back position, Todd Gurley the second. For you, we got going up against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is bottom of the barrel, quite literally the bottom of the barrel. Not you, Dale. Come on, man.
Come on, Dale. You're not Cincinnati.
Come on.
You're not Cincinnati, man.
If you need to pick me up, Dale, just look over at Cincinnati and be like, "Oh, okay, I feel better." Cincinnati, they're just bad. As you already talked about, they're somehow decent against wide receivers. They're even better against tight ends this season in terms of fantasy points, but they are just awful on the ground, letting just running backs run all over them. So we need to see Todd Gurley get the rock. We need to see him play. We need to see him even catch the ball a few times. He's averaging 14 rushes, 4 targets a game. He had his lowest snap count of the season last week, 60.5%. if they're going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, their first play should be on the ground, and it should be with Gurley.
We'll see how 10 times in a row.
Yeah, for real. I mean,
why not?
Let's hope, man. Let's hope. For Austin Eckler's coming up for your second running back. I've just talked about them. The Chargers going up against Chicago. When I was talking about Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler is only averaging 4 rush attempts a game since Gordon's return 3 weeks ago. But he's got averaging 9 targets, 73 yards catching the past 3 games, since his return. So he's been more of a receiver. He's been doing great. He's holding his own. He had one bad week where they both had a bad week. Chicago's not the same. There's going to be a lot of dump-off passes if there's any pressure to Phillip Rivers. It's going to be another good matchup for Austin Eckler. Good job not trading him away. Good job, man.
He's not on the table.
Other running backs, Derrick Henry in this matchup for Prescott Sterling. He's going up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense has been extremely stout against the running back position. They are top 3 against the running back position.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry's not your typical running back.
And that's the thing. Derrick Henry gets the ball. He's averaging 19.3 carries a game. He's a big dude. He plows people over when he needs to just stumble for an extra 3 yards. He's only had 1 fantasy game with single digits. We saw him a couple of times this year. We saw him especially week 1, 75-yard screen pass. Counts as a pass. You can catch him, but apparently not anybody else in the NFL can catch him. He's utilized. I like his chances here. They just love giving him the ball. I don't care if they get a switch at quarterback position, Tannehill. If he can move the ball through the air, that just opens up more possibilities for Derrick Henry. It could confuse the defense as of right now. Everybody knew. But it could. I think when Mariota was back there, everybody knew the ball was going to go to Derrick Henry. And guess what? Now they don't. They don't know nothing. So let's see what happens. Devin Singletary is going to fill in the role for Zeke. Singletary is going against Philadelphia. Philadelphia, we know you beat them through the air. They're top 5 against the running back position. Philadelphia has killed it, except against Zeke last week. Zeke found a way to get things done on the ground and a little bit through the air. I'm not sure if Devin Singletary is exactly that kind of player right now. His first week back, he only had 7 rushes for 26 yards. He had 0 targets. He was not targeted through the air. And all of this was against Miami. So, his utilization needs to go up. His targets in this one have to be there to make production happen against Philadelphia. They need to stop giving it to Frank Gore so much. I know he never dies.
He's the 8th wonder of the world. So
no, for real. If Frank Gore, that dude is a very big fantasy pain because he himself is not producing enough with Singletary in the game to make him fantasy relevant. But at the same time, he's hurting Singletary. We'll see what happens. They're going to do what they need to do to win. I got to give the advantage here. If Gurley, I'm giving Gurley the benefit of the doubt here on the ground. I'm giving you the advantage in running back position. So we'll move on to the tight ends. Evan Ingram for you is going up against Detroit. Detroit is exactly middle of the pack. Last week there was a scare here. We don't know if he had a concussion or something.
Yeah. Turns out he had an eyelash in his eye.
Yeah. Turns out he got poked in the eye. Okay, that's what happens. If you can't see the ball, it makes sense. Go to the sideline. Don't try to catch more. He still had 5 targets on the day. It's weird. He hasn't topped 55 yards in a game since week 3. I don't know if Danny Dimes is to blame on this one, if it's just the game flow, the game script, or whatever. It's a good opportunity for him this week. If Sterling Shepard comes back, it could just open up more passing opportunities. It could give him an even bigger advantage. I just don't see him competing with Darren Waller. This dude, the Wall. He's going up against Houston. He's pretty much. I don't know how he's not tight end number one on the year. Almost as productive as Austin Hooper here.
Mm-hmm.
He gets 26.7% of the target share. He's averaging 8 targets a game. He's insanely quick. He had a 4.46 40. He's had 31 catches over the past 4 weeks.
He had a touchdown taken back last week on a holding call on a nice little wheel route. I mean,
and he still had 31 points or something like that in fantasy. So,
yeah,
honestly, I don't think there's going to be a competition in the tight end position here. This is going to Darren Waller, hands down. So then we'll go to the flex position. Now we'll go to Emmanuel Sanders. And he was just shipped off Monday. Not sure how fast he's going to be integrated into the 49ers system. I'm not sure if he's going to, like we saw last year. Amari Cooper, he was traded. Week 1, he went completely nuts. Don't see this happening with Emmanuel Sanders, in my opinion, especially since this is a run-heavy team. They only average 219 yards passing a game.
Hey, he could get 170 of those. I'll be okay with that.
There you go.
I'll be okay with that.
Carolina, they are bottom 11. So when it comes to the wide receiver position, there's an opportunity that Sanders does just kind of go right in there, catch about 70 yards or whatever, and maybe a touchdown. There's the possibility. He's going up on the flex position against T.Y. Hilton, who is facing Denver. Denver's top 3 against the wide receiver position. Hilton has he's had up and down weeks. His target share is started from 9 targets, 6 targets, 10 targets, 4 targets, 11 targets. It's kind of hard to point the finger of where those target shares are going sometimes. I think it's Marlon Mack. When Marlon Mack is having himself a game, the target share goes down. When Marlon Mack is not involved or sitting out, T.Y. Hilton's back involved. Jacoby Brissett, like last week, got things done through the air. Marlon Mack was stopped. T.Y. Hilton had 16 points, fantasy points on the day. He's a great receiver, even with Jacoby. He's been so reliable with Jacoby Brissett. He's catching 75% of his passes this year. I'm actually giving the advantage to T.Y. Hilton in the flex. Let's give you some bold predictions for this game. Todd Gurley, he's going to carry the rock 24 times.
Ooh,
he's going to rack up 124 yards and have 3 touchdowns. He will be the man. He will not get his bonus. And an extra added little sprinkle of this bold prediction is he's going to get so utilized that his knee's going to act up and he's going to sit out for 2 weeks.
Dude,
I'm just saying they know how
your
to run
boldly prediction is an injury.
I'm saying a resting. That's all. Resting. Maybe 1 week. Okay. I'm just saying, like I said, Cincinnati gets beat on the ground. I think
they do have a bye week next week, so that works in my favor. So that's okay.
The other bold prediction here in this matchup, Devin Singletary will only get 9 carries in this matchup and will have 73 yards on the ground. However, 1 carry is going to go for a 68-yard score. He's going to find the hole. Not many people do against Philadelphia. He's going to find the hole, though, and go for a 68-yard score. The ending prediction here, Kerryon, my wayward sons, will carry on without Kerryon and will win by a small margin of 4 points.
I can appreciate that. I love the creativity in your bold predictions. I feel like such a basic little bitch when it comes to mine. So kudos to you.
Your James Conner one was pretty good too. Like you calculated the points for him to get in the top 10.
I did.
That's pretty nice. It's good.
I did. So, gentlemen and ladies, I did, or uh, non-binary gender people out there. I did not have much time today to write my predictions, so I do apologize if they are not up to the predictions that Josh is providing us today. He is going deep in the stats. He is doing a killer job. So hats off to you.
No, hats off. We do a great job. I like to think of this as teamwork. It's good stuff, man. It's good time.
It is.
Before we move on, dude, who do you have winning your game?
Thank you for bringing that up. Maybe I was trying to avoid it.
Good try.
If we don't see our first tie since moving to decimal points, I think I might squeak away by like 0.2.
Oh, you're calling this a really close game.
I think it's going to be really close. I think it's whoever has the most players with 15 and above points will win.
I agree.
I know that sounds kind of weird.
That's usually how it works, right?
You could have someone score 40 points and the other person have 15 points, and then you're still 10 points ahead. So
I'll give you that.
We'll see.
I have your game the closest margin out of all of them. I know it's not game of the week
as well.
But I
actually did not predict game of the week.
That's fair. Okay. Well then, you want to move on to game number 4?
Yes. We have Too Many Cooks versus Bottom of the Barrel, who we have now determined is not bottom. They are second bottom in the barrel.
To Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, bottom of the barrel.
Exactly.
But we're moving. We started here. Now we're here.
Cincinnati
started here. Now we're here. We're moving. We're moving and grooving. We kid because we love. So, all right. Back to the predictions. Too Many Cooks throwing Aaron Rodgers out there as they should. They get a Kansas City team who could be and most likely will be and probably is without their star MVP, future potential Hall of Famer, Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers is the QB7 on the year. He had a 50-point game and he's only the QB7. If he shows up, I don't know that we'll see 57 points. But 30, 35, sure.
Okay.
That's great. Going up against the other old-timer, Tom Brady. And they are getting Cleveland at home, who is 12th against quarterbacks. Bottom, middle. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He does what he does. He's the quarterback 8 on the year, so just behind Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady gets a new wide receiver. I don't know that the Sanu Kanu will be out there or much involved. Their wide receiver core is very crazy. Josh Gordon just got sent to IR, so we know we're without him. But Tom Brady gets things done, even if he has to run the ball himself. Advantage here. This one is tricky because Aaron Rodgers is coming off of a great game. He gets the primetime Sunday night matchup. I will go Aaron Rodgers as the beneficiary here.
That's right.
Next, we'll move down. We got Stefon Diggs with the Cooks, mixing that with Brandon Cooks. Stefon Diggs is the wide receiver 8. He gets Washington tomorrow night. Great things happen. No Adam Thielen. Kyle Rudolph has been non-existent. They had that other Johnson fellow kind of come in.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Really weird. It was like they tried to throw him the ball 4 times in the red zone, and he finally caught it on that 4th try. I was like, no. Diggs. We want the rookie to catch a touchdown. No. I don't think that happens this week. I think you can fire up Diggs, no problem. I think he's going to outscore his predictions by quite a few. Brandon Cookz, a Rams player at home against Cincinnati. We talked about it with Woods earlier. They're 24th against, or not 24. Yeah, well, no. God, I hate how they set this up. I wish they would just say worst or best. They are the 8th best against the wide receiver.
Yeah.
They're the 24th worst.
No, 24th best? They're red. They're red on Yahoo.
They're
okay?
red. It's a red 24. Cookz is only the wide receiver number 33 on the year. He's had some troubles. I mean, he's been in the mix when Goff decides, I guess. So he's real dependent on the Goff terrain. However, he's got a lot of talent. He's very fast. I don't suspect it being a throw-heavy game.
Probably not.
At home against Cincinnati. I think Gurley, like you were saying, does get a lot of carries. So Cookz, I think we're going to see his floor this week for sure. Barrels, they are clinging out Tyler Lockett and Mr. Cooper Kupp. Tyler Lockett has been really good this year. He's wide receiver number 10. They're at Atlanta. Atlanta is 5th worst against against the wide receiver position. Seattle's going to score. I talked about it with Russell Wilson. They're going to score. Tyler Lockett's the dude there. Metcalf has been a good rookie, but Lockett's the guy, and Lockett's going to see those targets. Mix that with Cooper Kupp, who is a Rams wide receiver going up against Cincinnati, has been Goff's favorite target. You gotta root for the white wide receiver. I mean, you just gotta. He has been phenomenal. He is the wide receiver number 5 on the year. And I think he outplays Cook like he has pretty much all year. I do think Diggs gets a great opportunity tomorrow. However, I am going to sway on the barrel side of things and give them the advantage for the wide receiver position. Sticking with the Burrows, Josh Jacobs had a scare last week. Right when I turned on the game, I saw him walking off the field. So I was worried for him there. I think he's a phenomenal player, phenomenal running back, and he will be a stud for years to come. He is at Houston. Houston is 20th against the run. He's the running back 13 on the year. Pretty phenomenal.
Very impressive.
Yahoo's projecting him 101 yards. That is certainly within the realm of possibilities. Especially against Houston. They're going to want to hold the ball. They did a great job of that last week, despite the loss to Green Bay, but they did hold the ball they had some long drives. I think they have the most drives over 5 minutes on the year, all due in part pretty much to Josh Jacobs, so shout out to him.
Very nice.
Saquon Barkley is back. He gets Detroit. Yahoo's projected him 133 total yards, 5 receptions, and a touchdown. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked really good last week. He had 18 rushes, 72 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 targets. He was involved in the passing game. He's got the questionable tag, but I don't see any reason. He was limited today. Big deal. He's going to play. He's going to be great.
Yep.
He's running back 31 on the year, but as we know, he missed time. I think he was only the running back 50 or something last week when I did this. So he's moving up.
He's fine. Oh my
fine.
God.
He's so
first week back, he had me nervous as could be last week. So it's like he's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely. So those are two great running backs, but the Cookz, Dalvin Cook. We get to see him tomorrow night. He gets Washington. They're 10th worst against the run. He's the running back number 2. Yahoo's projecting 122 yards, 3 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, run it up. Then we got Leonard Fournette, the running back number 4. So Cookz, like we mentioned last week, they got 2 top 5, top 4 running backs that they got late in the draft. Gentlemen, pay attention. Yahoo projecting him 79 total yards, 2 receptions, 1 touchdown. They get the Jets. They're 6th worst against the run. Advantage Cookz on this one. Josh Jacobs is commendable. Saquon Barkley is back. But Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette is a 1-2 punch. Somebody's going to score 20 points.
Yeah. Honestly, these running backs that the Cookz have, they took a gamble on them, a little bit later than most people.
Known to be injury prone, but we've had some weird injuries this year, and they have managed to be just fine. So
yeah, they've recovered just fine. Boy, are they paying out. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Moving to the tight ends, Hunter Henry's being thrown out there for the Cookz. He looks to be back. He had a great previous 2 weeks, 26 points and 12.7 respectively. When they're not throwing the ball to Keenan Allen, apparently they're going to Hunter Henry. They get the Bears. The Bears, middle of the road, 11th worst against the tight end position. Game script, I guess, with this one, depending on his usage. Chargers could be ahead early. They could be looking to just run the ball, maybe get Melvin Gordon some looks. But I think early on, Hunter Henry is going to be one of the guys along with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So
I agree.
Good plug and play there for the Mark Andrews on the bye week. Then we got Delaney Walker going up against Tampa Bay, who are 2nd worst against the tight end position. And as you mentioned earlier, Ryan Tannehill is back. Did Delaney Walker not play last week?
He went out early.
Okay.
I forgot what
with an ankle.
Ankle, that's what it was.
Yeah. So he's back. Apparently he didn't practice today. There are some tight end pickups to be had if needed. They're sitting with Jared Cook. Barrels are Jared Cook on the bench. They can find someone better if needed, if desired. Advantage Hunter Henry. He is the tight end number 14 to Delaney Walker's 17. Flex position, we got Lev Bell going up at Jacksonville. They are 13th against the run. He's the running back 21 on the year. He's looked fine. Not the Lev Bell that we've been used to. Darnold was seeing a ghost last week. He did not he did not see Lev Bell very much at all. They get an easier matchup. Obviously, New England is very tough to play against this year. So they get Jacksonville. I think he's going to have a fine game. Yahoo's projecting him 15 points. I could see it going +5, -5 from that, in that range. Then we got Terry McLaurin. We can see him tomorrow night. I'm excited for this guy on prime time. Breakout rookie. Talked about him in Commissioner's Corner.
Commissioner's Corner, yeah.
Commissioner's Corner last week. I am high on this dude. I got him in a couple other leagues, and yeah, I am happy with him. He's the wide receiver 17. Not too shabby for a rookie wide receiver with 2 terrible quarterbacks that he has.
Right. On a terrible team, this guy's breaking out. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, he is good. Surprisingly, I'm going to give the advantage to Terry tomorrow night. I think he breaks out. I know it's maybe not a popular vote, but I just love the dude so much. Sometimes you got to go with your gut, so I am giving it to Terry.
There you go.
Bold predictions. I got so I gave the advantage. I gave the advantage to the Cookz for the running back, but my bold prediction, if I'm going to be as so bold, is that
Yes.
their 2 running back slots beat out the Cookz running back slots. I didn't give a point value, but Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, in my bold predictions, will outdo Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
So that is my.
You gave him the advantage. You gave one side the advantage, but then your bold is on the other side.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I actually wrote 3 bold predictions. Apparently I forgot. If I didn't want to read that one, I wrote another one for Dalvin. I wrote one for Dalvin Cook, and I said that he finally rushes for his 200 yards.
Waiting
Prime
for
time.
it.
Why not?
Waiting for it.
That's why we got to keep boldly predicting it, man. It's going to happen. We got to get it right. We're going to get it right. If we just do that the rest of the year, one of us will get it.
Exactly.
My other bold prediction. My other bold prediction goes to Terry McLaurin. I think he zooms for 157 yards, 2 scores.
All right.
Why not? Why not?
I guess Minnesota. That'd be great to see. I would love to see it.
My score spread. I'm still going to give this to the Cookz by 7. I have this matchup at. They got to put a kicker in. Maybe they don't. Maybe they do. Who are you going to drop? Madison? No. Sanders? Sure. You can't trade him away, can you, Eric?
We'll see how they go.
One sec. Sorry. I had the score spread. I said I have the Cookz by 7, but after last week, it could be by 80. I don't know.
Right now I have them as the highest score spread. I got them by 16 points. That's just because somehow they just boom. They're 2 weeks in a row now. They've been booming.
Give yourself a pat on the back, Eric. Give yourself a pat on the back, man. You're probably feeling really warm and fuzzy right now. So, attaboy. You get an attaboy.
Oh, well, damn. All right, so we both have that. It looks like we agree on all these matchups so far. We'll see how we fare up against one more game because it's time, gentlemen. The game of the week! Hey! So here we go. We got Suck de Brown going up against Berries and Cream. I like this matchup here. I got to find these guys eventually on Skype here. Okay. There we are. I like this matchup. Like I said, I have your matchup as the closest, but I actually like the big potential here with these two.
I think we're going to see most points out of this matchup as far as closest this goes. Robbie, look at you little astronaut.
I know. I mean, you can hear me, right? That's all that matters.
That's the most important thing right now.
Yeah, I don't care. I will use these if it helps. So.
You look like if Princess Leia had white hair.
Ooh, I like it. Thank you. You know what? That's a compliment. It's definitely a step up for me.
Good.
He's gonna take it. He'll take
it. I'm just glad this is working. Like I said, how you boys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Well.
Doing good. Yeah. Doing good. Yeah.
Good. I saw some pumpkins in some pictures, Louis.
Yes. Yeah. I had my parents over. We did some pumpkin carving with the boy and had some fun. We made some yummy enchiladas.
Oh, there you go. Thanks for the invite, but I mean, it's okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
next time I make enchiladas, which at this rate will be once a year, so you missed out. But 2020 is upon us, so
I will put it in my calendar. When I don't use
set a reminder every day. For every day.
every 10 o'clock, you're getting a text.
Enchiladas, bro. We doing enchiladas, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. That's fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, God.
Trying to hook up the connection here.
Yeah, whatever. Only losers take this long to hook up.
Whoa!
I'm way past the idea of fantasy gods hurting me at this point.
Hey, you're still there, man. You're still the guy to beat.
fantasy gods let you get off to a really, really early lead. So
Yes, it reminds me of last year. This shit happened again, and
hey!
let's go.
I didn't want to do it with my mouth, so I had to wait for the app to load.
Oh, okay. I thought I was
The guy on the air horn button just a little slow today.
Yeah, it's
The guy on the air horn button is
make some sort of coming in party there. He's clearly taking his time gathering all his ladies on his team. So
yeah, that's what it is. He's making final adjustments right now. You know what's really interesting here, and I have it in my bold predictions, is there's a couple of revenge matches for some players in this one.
Yes, Jordan Howard's going for 3 points. I know it.
And then you got Golden Tate on the other end of the ball there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, did you guys have a trade, Jordan Howard and Golden Tate?
Yeah, we did.
That's
a couple weeks
right.
ago. Or yeah, last week, before last week. It didn't help either one of us, I don't think. Right? He lost too, right? I don't even remember.
I can't remember.
Oh no, he did. Oh, yeah.
You got Pittsburgh going up against Miami. You got the slide dog kicker himself.
There he is.
I don't think I've ever held on to a kicker through a bye week.
Hello?
Before.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, there he is.
Yeah,
Hey, held on to a kicker. That was interesting.
Yeah. Ah, there I am.
There he is.
I can talk a little like an alien. So.
Hold on. Say it again.
What, me? Alien thing?
Game of the week.
Oh, game of the week!
Hey, I feel so honored. Yeah. That's better. Well, I don't know how he feels. It's got to be boring to him now.
Yeah, I live for this moment. Thanks for having me on the show again, boys.
Yeah, thanks for
coming back.
me.
Both of
I
you
have my
gentlemen.
own booth next time. Get a little comfortable over here.
Jeez.
There you go.
Hey, we're all balling on a budget here, okay?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a little secret. Chet got Ty Johnson from me.
How much did you bid on it?
Me?
How much?
What was the final bid for Ty?
Right?
28.
Yeah, I put 23 down for him.
I put 26 on him.
Yeah.
After Wayne Gallman got picked up for 23, I was like, 26 seems fair. I'm on a budget here. I only got $49 left.
I think Chet had the most to spend, so he was like, "Why not?"
You know what?
I was just blowing my load this week.
You're not first, you're last, so he went for it.
Last place. I'll be there soon. Don't worry. Not after this, though. I won't let it happen here.
I don't know. It's a good chance here. I think you, like Lou was saying before we signed on here, you guys might have the most points scored this week, depending on the matchups here.
That evil on me. Last week was like the first time I broke 100 in a while.
Yeah, that is true.
Son, where'd you find this?
Sorry, guys. I got buttons to push now.
Now. Just start knocking on things and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
We're trying to spice things up, okay? If I'm not going to edit in post-production, we got to edit up front.
Sure, I like the mic next to it. It's it's like a whisper. It's not really getting me pumped up.
Really...
Hey, there we go.
Okay. Perfect.
There we go. Let's carry that energy into my team. They've been very bad lately, so.
Yeah, well, okay.
You are on a
I think you guys are
slope.
both.
I am, but I think I run into McCaffrey at the right time. I don't know about the rest of your team, but I don't know.
He is well rested, let me tell you.
I don't know. 6 points against Tampa Bay the first time they played, and now San Francisco. Oh,
Called him earlier today. He is chomping at the bit.
You got his number? You got his number? Can we get him on the show?
I said
he doesn't like to do interviews.
Just tell him to
give him
subscribe.
pep talks in the morning.
Okay.
We just need him to subscribe. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
if he
true.
subscribes, we could go.
I'll see if I can pull some strings and see if he can subscribe.
I appreciate it.
Hashtag sponsor.
We're trying to get the 10,000 subscribers plaque up on the back wall.
Yeah, we're working to 10. We're working to 10.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Subscribe to this.
Baby steps.
That's sad.
Man. So, Chet, we got a couple of revenge matchups here. How do you think Golden Tate is going to match up here this week?
Golden Tate?
Yeah, because he was on the Bears,
What?
He was on my team. Yeah.
You guys made a
Before
trade?
the trade. Before the trade, he was on the Bears.
Oh, I thought you meant because they're playing the Lions.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually
Right.
fantasy
I
football.
see what you did there. So it's like a double whammy of revenge game.
I don't like that.
Only
No.
means good things. He's going to go for 22. I like it.
Yards?
Catches.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn.
22
okay.
catches.
For 3 yards. They're all
What's
gonna
the record? What's the
I don't
NFL?
Keenan Allen, right? Like 20?
I don't.
Or
Well,
Brandon,
until this week, until 22 catches this
Until
week.
22. It shall fall.
Brandon
Then it'll
Marshall,
go to
you looking up right now?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now.
That was
Need
20.
a fact checker on retainer.
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
hell?
I've been fact checking all day, so
Oh,
here we go. You guys want to know who it is?
Yeah,
I do.
Brandon Marshall, yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Dude, get out of here, man. What do you got? The
Right.
LTE for LTEG?
No, he
Yes,
did
it's
what-
Brandon Marshall.
he did what
21
Jacob-
catches against Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So
He's
22
got that
stands
5G.
as possible.
Yeah, it is.
What I'm saying is there's a chance. I like it.
A lot of slants. We're
He
going a lot
did
of slants.
lose. He did lose. That was back in 2009. Denver ended up losing the game.
How many yards did he have? Oh, come on. How is it not there?
200 yards. 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Wow.
Jesus.
Fairly decent game, I'd say.
Yeah,
That's-
and
that
then
sounds
when
about
that
right.
combination was on the Bears, they did diddly squat. So, sorry.
Yeah, right. All right,
I'm
Robbie.
surprised you're not talking about Jordan Howard against Buffalo.
Well, I was about to just bring that up. You also have a revenge player. Yeah, because our league matters more than actual NFL.
Yeah.
You have a revenge player.
People know.
I did.
Players know about
I have-
our matchups, okay?
I have very limited. I feel like he's not going to do well at all. But Mark Walton, right, from the Dolphins, did pretty well against them last week, and the Dolphins blow. So, I don't know.
They do blow out of their blowhole. They do.
They have a worse run defense than they do pass defense. They let you run all over, but they won't give you that 20-yard pass. So,
Do you think he's going to get 22 carries to combat the 22 catches?
oh, absolutely not. He's getting like 7 because they don't. Well, that offense.
22 catches is 11 points on its own. So that's
On its own.
That's a good day.
Yeah, that's
Take
Take
awful.
it. Good day at the office.
I will be throwing my phone every catch until 22. I'll be making models for homework and just be busting them apart and watching Golden Tate play. I don't like that at all.
That's all I can hope for. That'd be a win in itself.
I feel like we both needed that trade, so I can't get that upset about it. But we'll
Well, I
see.
definitely needed it. My wide receiver core was lacking.
Yeah, we really kind of out of nowhere. We're just like, yeah, we're just doing it now. It's just happening.
Yep.
I think
And
once
to
my
all you other listeners out there, I have a lot of running backs if you're interested.
yeah,
I'm on the
Lamar
trade
Jackson. You want to talk about this right now, Chip?
Oh, yeah, running back, Lamar Jackson. Okay.
Oh no, you want Lamar Jackson? I'll take
Do
one
I?
of your running.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yep.
Well, this
I'll make it happen.
just got interesting.
Thinking McCaffrey, but we can discuss that.
Yeah, we can,
Oh, right.
we can table
Buy
that.
him low after this week. So.
think that all you want, I'm sure.
I can't let him go. He'd be too upset if I didn't call him in the mornings for his pump ups again.
I might actually get him.
You wouldn't take that too well.
call him.
He would call you wee hours in the morning. What did you do, Chet?
Why did you trade me, man?
Come on.
Delete this number.
He'll just show up
Oh,
Yeah,
at my house.
yeah, you can't do that. He would unsubscribe as soon as he subscribed to
Yeah,
us.
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how many subscribers are there? Should I be subscribing? I feel awful.
You would bump us up to 8. It'd be great.
Yeah,
we
for
don't-
the sake of the show, I will have to keep McCaffrey on my roster then.
Oh, okay. We
Thank you for
appreciate
looking
that.
out.
We
For
don't
the
want
ratings, we
the
appreciate
guy.
that.
I would
Okay.
get a special guest.
Did you
but-
subscribe? Robbie,
So-
did you just subscribe?
No, I didn't just subscribe.
Well, you got to go on and
I'm
subscribe.
thinking-
We have
I'm
8
thinking I'll do it
subscribers
after-
right now. We could have 9. Chet, are you
We're
a
not going to end
subscriber?
this.
I think I did.
I'm thinking after week 16. Is that okay
You
with
got to know. You got to know.
That's true. I should know these right off the top of my head.
you? Oh, hey, look at that. There you go.
Yes.
I'm not getting notifications.
We're almost breaking milestones on the show.
Turn off.
Right here live, almost at 10.
This is great.
We are at
Well,
9
we'll see.
subscribers.
Stop shoving your beer in my face,
Let me
Josh.
see if I
Jesus.
subscribe.
For
Maybe I'll
fuck's
make
sake.
history happen.
For fuck's sake, man. Come on.
For Fox's sake. Well, guys, we're going to see how these revenge trades. Well, this trade that you guys had will shake down in a couple weeks. We're going to have transaction talks come back on the show.
Mhm.
We'll have a nice breakdown of
I
statistics.
can't wait to be trashed again. I look forward to those moments.
Thank you, Chet.
We did it. We're at
We
10.
Yes.
We hit the double digit 10
We're in double
subscriber
digits.
Damn,
plaque on
that was
our way,
mine on
YouTube.
that stuff.
It's all downhill from here, boys.
Oh boy,
Today's a good day. Tomorrow, not so
10th
much.
subscriber always has the worst luck, so.
you guys are improving my YouTube clout, our YouTube clout. So thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate it. I do have Cirque de Brown winning this game. We'll see how it goes.
No, you don't. Are you sure about that?
Even without a defense?
Yeah, I don't like that.
If you start a
assume you're going
defense,
to put
you
it on
lose.
defense.
If you start a defense,
That's the bold prediction right there.
Wait, what was the bold prediction? I missed it.
if you start a defense, you lose.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
That is my only bold prediction.
Just Limpy McGee needs to play, and things will be okay again.
Yeah, I've been
You
working
start-
some of the
you start a
defenses out
defense,
this
you
week.
get
I'll have a
negative
starter.
points.
You have a starter.
No, it was
Been running Christian McCaffrey against him, see which one is a better powerhouse.
Yeah, I've been working some out.
There you go.
We're going to be just as rested as the rest of my team. Ready to go.
Don't worry. As always, I'll make 4 moves before Sunday to screw up everything. So,
You tinkerer.
yeah, I'll have 8 quarterbacks on my roster at the end of today.
Wow.
You already got 3, so that's
I
okay.
do have 3, so they're all on the table for
Could you drop one and maybe you know?
No, you want to give me someone?
Let him know when you drop one.
You can give
That's
me
pretty
some.
solid.
I will give you Kerryon Johnson. My team's namesake.
The names?
We might be.
You get full naming rights.
I don't
Carry
want
on, my wayward son.
No, I will put in the trade that you have to keep it as your name.
Ooh.
Just
it.
Just go ahead and unsubscribe right now, Robbie.
Oh, if I do it and I subscribe again, I'll be the 10th subscriber. So
I got the better Johnson of the Lions now too, so he's gonna be
yeah,
solid.
the only one that's walking on that team. So I'm fully expecting a Marvin Jones Jr. breakout for you because he tends to do that randomly.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think he
Yeah,
can
we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm looking at. I'll take a couple people from it. So
Perfect. Actually, I think this week it's just going to be Matt Stafford going off. He'll throw the bunch of balls to himself, catch it.
it'll be the TJ Droppinson.
Ooh.
Droppinson, he says.
Wait, what is it? That's the name, right? Droppinson. I forgot what they call him.
What, G.Day McKissick?
No, TJ.
Hawkins.
Oh, Hawkinson.
You can't
The
catch a
hawk
ball.
strap. He's the hawk strap.
The Hawk strap.
Yeah. There's like 4 names at this point for him. I love it.
But-
Alright, so I officially have to give my pick'em. I have to give my pick'em.
Okay.
You guys have to hear me.
You're the pick'em.
Thank you. Gosh, this is actually kind of tough. I could see it going either way.
Maybe we should make this game the game of the
Usually
week.
have
then.
two opponents.
Oh, wait.
This honestly should be the game of the week.
With a build up to the game? Oh, God.
Yeah.
It comes down to
So no
CMC.
defense.
You don't think Alvin Kamara is going to play this week?
I hope he does not.
They just picked up a couple other running backs, didn't they? They signed Alfred Morris. He's not coming back.
What? Alfred Morris?
Why even give the guy a job?
I don't know. They dropped that Zach Leonard guy, Double Z.
Yeah, they picked him up in the drop.
Maybe it was somebody else. that
Picked him up
picked
and dropped him. I don't care.
Drop
If
it
he
like
doesn't
a
play,
hot.
I'd rather not break his leg. So
Yeah, so this comes down to CMC for me. That's why the Browns get it. Again, Chet, if you do start a defense, though, you will lose. So
God, now I'm scared.
my pick'em is
What?
contingent. My pick'em is contingent on Chet's defense play. If he
I
starts,
would
I
recommend-
give the win to Robbie.
if you like.
If he does not start a defense, I will give it to Chet.
I'm not falling for your tricks.
And
This
you
is
watch
just because you fell down to 7th, isn't it?
Ken is a good streamer.
No, there is no tilt on my side.
Well, there's a thing. If Chet beats me, he jumps me. So
If I was tilting, I probably would have taken your trade today, Chet, and I did not. So
Ah. This is better than some of the other ones I've been sending out. I'll give that.
it's showing a lot about the other trades. So
That's fair.
Well, I appreciate your discretion in offering me a trade. So I appreciate that.
I liked your response saying you are interested in my running backs, but you don't want to pay for them.
Yeah, I said, yeah, okay.
I appreciate your honesty.
I told Chad, I was like, he's like, I got running backs. Do you want them? I was like, yeah, I'd want them, but I'm not willing to pay whatever price I have to.
Part of the deal, Louis Demick.
I know, yeah.
That's okay. I think I made an offer to Chet like 3 weeks ago. He said no. Then he came back with the same offer, and then I said no. He's like, "Wait a minute, you were the one who offered this trade." It's like, yeah, no, I don't want it anymore.
yeah.
That's like when there's a veto button. You send through a trade, and then you veto your own trade.
I vetoed my own trade essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of negotiating. Ended up at the same place that you sent over to me originally, and you're like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it anymore."
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Hell, man.
He tends to do that. I had a very long conversation with him, ending in the same way. So
Exactly.
Chasing your tail over there.
he just I
What can I
don't
say?
like it. I don't like it.
Well, guys, we appreciate you stopping another show here.
Any final words?
Yeah.
Yeah, go sports. I'm gonna steal it.
Oh, love it.
I need some good vibes.
Do you guys like our name, Go
Vibes.
Sports Media?
Just putting your
Go
shirt.
Sports Media, I like it. It's like prestige worldwide.
Why?
There it-
Sports.
Yeah, I think it works the same.
Love it.
Maybe
That's
someone
how
else
we should end videos from now on. Go sports.
just fade out to sports.
So get this. So I just looked it up just to fact check. I want to make sure that we're not stealing anybody's trademark media name. There is a Go Sports Media on LinkedIn, but their explanation point is right after the go.
After the
Oh,
go.
I set that up.
And then there is Go Sports Marketing. And then there's gosports.com. No explanation point. Therefore, we get to keep our name.
Love it.
That's a win.
Now we just need 3 more
Thank you.
subscribers and it's official.
Thank you.
Yes, I approve.
Oh, my
Doing the same thing.
my mascot's
Oh.
here. She's
Oh.
Mascot.
Lucy, hi. Hi,
Oh,
Lucy.
my garden veggie straws are
Say
here.
Go Sports, Lucy. She said Go Sports. She said
Two polar opposite mascots.
Yes, one is a dog. Thank you. I
That's
can't
our
compete,
move.
I can't compete
I'm
with
so
that.
much more confident now.
Any final words?
Said any final word?
No. I'm gonna keep it calm. I don't like
Me?
pissing off gods and all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chet, what you got? Any final
My
words?
final words is I think I'm gonna win this week. Comfortably.
Mm.
I think Zach Ertz is gonna finally break out. He's sucked a lot of dick this year.
Yes.
Uh,
I can attest.
Pretty much
So,
go there, stick.
You have McCaffrey's phone number. I have Ertz's phone number.
No, we should tell him to step his game up. Your pep talks aren't really working for Zach Ertz, then.
Well,
Maybe your blowjobs aren't that great. So.
no. He's been doing the sucking.
Get it right.
My bad. Just put that away. I thought you wanted some more subscribers. I had no idea.
It's not that kind of channel.
This is a family channel.
I don't know if it is fully, but
Well, the Lyjack family apparently listens, so just keep it.
Lyjack
that's
family.
a whole-
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
for-
You need to break into the Lyjack cousins and stuff. You'll be at 10,000 in no time.
Easy.
That's true.
We'll break some
That's
records.
true. We need to change our demographic. We need to go towards all large families.
All right, guys, we appreciate it.
Yeah, that's
Thanks for
everything.
stopping in.
Yeah,
Thank
you guys have a
gentlemen.
good night.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks
That's
for
a
having
lot,
me.
guys. Yeah. All right, man.
Right.
There we go. Do you have any other bold predictions for this game? Because I have a couple. I didn't really fit it in on that.
No, nothing too bold.
Okay.
I think players.
I actually,
I think we could see players scoring exactly what they are projected this week. Honestly,
it's highly possible. Couple of bold predictions. I'm gonna make it bold. Joey Slay, the kicker for the Berries and Cream, he's gonna make 7 kicks this week.
All point after attempts.
All of them are gonna. Well, not all of them. 4 of them are gonna be from 50 yards out or more.
Wow.
I think they're going to be in a little bit of trouble going to San Francisco. I think they're going to need to kick the ball a lot. Bold prediction for Circle de Brown. Dropped a lot of money on Ty Johnson. He gets the nod to start the game. He fumbles twice, is asked to sit. J.D. McKissick steps in and finishes the game with 125 total yards and a touchdown.
Why don't you become a man of your word and start
J.D. McKissick?
You can't even say it with a straight face. We're going to be laughing at this silly talk next week when that happens, and people are dropping more fab dollars on him than talk.
J.D. McKissick. And then they'll sign another running back, and then he'll be the starter. Like, it'll be crazy.
Yeah, C.J. Anderson comes back and is relevant again.
C.J. Anderson. I have like I don't know if it's going to happen. I have like a 35% chance of seeing this happening. Kenyon Drake talks go through and he becomes the starter. It's possible. They've been trying to shop him this year so far, and they just
Why
lost
not?
Kerryon. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they need a running back.
They need a running back. Aside from the Packers, like our division is pretty tight. Maybe he could change the game, but we'll see.
Yeah,
certainly. Otherwise, this is definitely going to be a close game. I like it as game of the week. All of us have, except for Robbie. I don't know. Robbie didn't give his take on it, but Cirque de Browns we have coming in as the victor in this matchup. That actually means we agree on all these games this week, Louis.
Well, hold on. If Chet starts a defense, then Robbie will win. So.
Oh well, you can't have a conditional pick. You got to choose one right now.
As it is right now, Chet will win. But if he starts
a defense, oh, this guy. No, I think
not much to differ on this week. I mean, aside from game of the week, what we feel being the closest one, at least by Yahoo standards, we sort of agree on all the other how Yahoo has it displayed. I mean, as soon as Eric starts a kicker, he'll be projected more. But valiant effort, I think Barrels will have, and
yeah, I think this is going to be. The bye weeks are hurting some people. They have to scramble to find some replacements. Injuries, same thing. Got to scramble to find replacements. So these might be open and shut games, but excuse me, we could have some surprises. The NFL is full of surprises, week to week. We don't really know.
Yeah, certainly.
Been a lot of fun this year. So
wise words, Josh.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I guess with that, we can sign off here. We've had a great week 8 predictions video.
Yeah, a lot of fun this week. High energy, high enthusiasm,
and
high fact checks.
If you haven't already, because we've already talked about it at least 6 times this video, subscribe.
Yes, we had to bribe our way into the 10th subscription, but we did it.
We did it. Christian McCaffrey, he's going to be subscribing soon. So, guys, come on.
He may even become a guest.
Yeah, totally.
Can you believe that? He's such a good guy. He's coming onto the show.
I'd lose my mind. Oh, my gosh. All right, well, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Until then, best of luck. And as always, go sports.
Go sports.
Sports. Take care, guys. Sports. Sports.